In a second, we'll start our practice or our right side of 5.2a. However, hopefully you tried example number 5. These are your potential answers right here. And I say answers just because you can switch your binomial factors around. So these mean the same thing. So let's try the practice. So here we're looking for numbers that multiply to -6. Multiply to -6 and add to -1 because the coefficient of b is -1. So let's see here, that'd be -3 and +2. So our answer could be x minus 3 times x plus 2. And when you FOIL it back together, yes you do, you get the original trinomial. Solid. Next, we're looking for numbers that multiply to +5 and add to a -6. Now, because we're multiplying to a +5, either both numbers are positive or both numbers are negative. Because it adds to a -6, both numbers need to be negative. So -5 and -1 are the two values that do that. So x minus 5, x minus 1 times x minus 1. And again, for all of these answers here, multiplication is commutative, so you could switch the left factor and the right factor, and you would get the same answer. Numbers here we're looking for that multiply to a +3 and add to a +4. So that's 1 and 3, or 3 and 1. So x plus 1 times x plus 3, or x plus 3 times x plus 1. Numbers that multiply to 8 and add to -6. So because they multiply to a positive number, either both are positive or both are negative. In this case, both will be negative to add to a -6. X minus 4 times x minus 2. Same thing here in terms of the signs. Looking for numbers that multiply to +9. Numbers that multiply to +9 and add to -6. It's going to be -3 and -3. So then this one's a little different. I switched colors after I started the example. It's kind of weird. But so I get x minus 3 times x minus 3. And then, I talked about switching the two binomial factors here. It wouldn't make a difference because they're both the same. So the best answer here is actually going to be x minus 3, that binomial or that quantity squared. Ooh, that's a bad square though. I should make it a little smaller, a little higher. There we go. Technically, this is the best answer. So if you're doing a multiple choice test and you're worried on example number 4, well, if the answer for option A is x minus 2 times x minus 4, that is equivalent to the answer that I have above. These two are equivalent, so you'd pick option A. Actually, if on number 5, if you stopped right here, folks, you would not see your answer in a multiple choice test because this is not the best answer, and they're hopefully not going to try to trick you simply into knowing this fact and giving you both of these options. If this was option A and option B, you hopefully wouldn't see both. That'd be kind of mean, but that's a good thing to study for. Option B is the best answer by far. It is the simplified answer, whereas here, these two things are on the same level in terms of it's the most simplified best answer. So that was a fun talk. Let's keep rolling. I need my fun pen back. There's my fun pen. Numbers that multiply to -4 and add to -3. So because we multiply to a negative number here, that means that one is positive and one is negative. So a -4 and a +1 do it. So x minus 4, x plus 1. Keep on rolling. Numbers that multiply to 18 and add to 9. So that's 6 and 3. 6 and 3. So x plus 6, x plus 3, or vice versa. All right, next one. Holy cow, these numbers look funny. Is that going to work out? I'm sure it will. We can do it. Numbers that multiply to -1 and add to 2. Again, since my multiplier is negative, that means either both numbers are negative or both numbers are positive. Well, they're both going to be positive here. So positive, whoa, you know what? I copied that down wrong, didn't I? And I started doing it, I'm like, well, that's not going to work. Say numbers that multiply to a +1 and add to a -2. So now, let me try that again. Since it multiplies to a positive number, either both are positive or both are negative. They're both going to be negative. So we get x minus 1 and x minus 1. Again, note the order of our binomial factors are exactly the same because the factors are exactly the same. So the best answer here is actually x minus 1 squared, x minus 1 times itself. Here we're looking for numbers that multiply to 64 and add to -16. So both numbers are either positive or both numbers are both negative because we have a positive multiplier. So, -8 and -8 do it. Same number again, so our factors are going to be the same. And then we can write that as x minus 8 quantity squared. Boom. Last one. Numbers that multiply to 1 and add to 2. Because we're looking for numbers that multiply out to a +1, either both numbers are positive or both numbers are negative. Because they add to a positive number, both numbers have to be positive. So 1 and 1. So x plus 1 times x plus 1, which means x plus 1 quantity squared. There we